Manchester City have started strong this season.
Ball in towards Lewis. Lewis into the area and Haaland scores!
I mean, really strong. Their very first game ended in a 4-0 win, with goals from Haaland, Cherki and Reijnders. That's not just a good start, that's a statement. And if City's attack looks this sharp already, the rest of the Premier League should be very worried. But how good are the players? Well, let's talk about that. This wasn't just a routine win. It was a showcase of attacking brilliance. From the first whistle, City looked fluid, fast and ruthless. Every part of their forward line clicked. Haaland doing what he does best, Cherki announcing himself with confidence, and Reijnders slotting right in like he's been part of this team for years. What makes this even scarier is the depth Pep Guardiola has at his disposal. City aren't relying on one or two stars. They've got weapons everywhere, on the left, in the middle, and on the right. So let's break it down, starting from that left side, where Pep has already started experimenting with some very exciting options. Pep Guardiola has already shown that he's willing to trust Bobb in that position, and honestly, the kid looks special. First up, Bobb. Pep's been easing him in, but now he's starting to look like a proper first-team option. And what's crazy about Bobb is that he doesn't play like a youngster at all. He plays with the composure of someone who's been in the Premier League for years. His close control is unreal. Defenders press him, and it doesn't matter if he's surrounded. He always finds a way to slip out. He reminds me a bit of a young Messi, not in terms of scoring goals yet, but in how he manipulates the ball in tight spaces. He's the kind of player who doesn't just beat his man, he makes defenders panic because they know he can twist either way and still keep the ball glued to his foot. That's dangerous in a Pep team, because once he beats his marker, everything opens up. The cutback to Haaland, the reverse pass into the number 10, or even a direct shot if he wants to take it on himself. What makes him scary is that he's unpredictable, and Pep loves unpredictability in his wingers. If Bobb continues on this path, he's going to play a much bigger role in City's attack than people expect this season. Then there's Savinho, and he's a completely different type of threat. Bobb is all about close control and creativity, but Savinho is raw electricity. He's one of those players who doesn't overthink it. He gets the ball, looks up, and immediately drives at defenders. That kind of directness is priceless, especially in games where City need someone to break the rhythm of a stubborn defense. His dribbling is aggressive, and he's strong on the ball too, which means fullbacks can't just nudge him off easily. Even if he doesn't start every game, Savinho has that impact sub energy about him. The kind of player you throw on in the 60th minute, and suddenly the whole tempo changes. Of course, his finishing still needs polishing, and he's not the most clinical winger right now, but that's something Pep can refine. And if he stays at the club this season, he could turn into one of the best left wingers in the league with the right coaching.
Then Savinho! Foden with a shot!
Phil Foden. Now, everyone knows Foden's talent, but last season wasn't his sharpest. There were flashes of brilliance, but it wasn't consistent. This season, though, I think a lot of people are expecting him to bounce back. Foden is technically one of the best players City has. His touch, his vision, his ability to find little pockets of space are top class. On the left wing, he gives City something different compared to Bobb or Savinho. He's not just about dribbling or pace, he's about intelligence. He knows when to cut inside, when to hold the width, and when to arrive late into the box. That kind of versatility makes him unpredictable too. And let's not forget, Foden can also play as a number 10, where his game probably looks the most natural. He has the ability to turn quickly, thread passes between lines, and link up beautifully with Haaland. Sometimes people forget how big a role he can play because of how stacked this City squad is. But if Pep gives him a consistent run of games, Foden could easily be one of the biggest difference makers in this attack. So, on just the left side alone, City has three completely different kinds of players. Bobb, who plays like a mini Messi with his control and creativity. Savinho, who brings pace, power, and direct dribbling. And Foden, who mixes intelligence, versatility, and end product. That's a ridiculous amount of variety for Guardiola to rotate between, and that's only one flank. Now, if the left side already looks this good, wait until you see what City has in the middle of the pitch. But before we talk about the next attackers, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Now, let's move into the middle, because this is where Guardiola's system comes alive. Over the years, we've seen how Pep relies on his central players to control the tempo, dictate the flow, and connect everything. And right now, he has two outstanding options for the number 10 role. First, let's talk about Bernardo Silva. If you've been watching City closely, you already know that Bernardo has become one of the most complete players on this team. Last match, Pep played him centrally, and it worked perfectly. What makes Bernardo so special in that position is his ability to control the ball under pressure. It doesn't matter if 2 or 3 players close him down, he'll find a way out, either with a sharp turn, a clever dribble, or just a perfectly timed pass. He's press-resistant, and that's gold in Pep's system. When he plays as the number 10, he doesn't just stay in the middle, he drifts into pockets of space, links up with the wingers, and even drops deeper when needed. That versatility keeps the whole attack balanced. And let's not forget, Bernardo isn't just about neat passes and possession control. He can also score goals. Last season, we saw him pop up in big moments, and that's the kind of experience City needs in the middle of the pitch. But what makes things even more exciting this season is the addition of Rayan Cherki. This kid is special. If Bernardo is the reliable, experienced option, Cherki is the unpredictable, explosive one. His style is silky, creative, and confident. He loves to take risks on the ball, and more often than not, they pay off. He's the type of player who can glide past defenders, play the final ball, or score himself. And the numbers back that up. Last season with Lyon, he recorded 13 goals and 21 assists. That's not just good, that's elite-level production, especially for someone his age. And the scary part, he's just getting started. What's even more impressive is that he's already made an impact at City. In their first match of the season, he didn't even start. But when he came off the bench, he still managed to get on the score sheet. That tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He's hungry, he's confident, and he's ready to prove himself at the highest level. And in a team like City, where chances are created constantly, Cherki could easily rack up both goals and assists again this season. The beauty of Pep having both Bernardo Silva and Cherki for the number 10 spot is that he can tailor his midfield depending on the game. If he needs control, stability, and reliability, he goes with Bernardo. If he wants flair, unpredictability, and that spark of creativity, he throws in Cherki. Either way, City don't lose quality, and that's exactly what makes them so dangerous. So, with the middle stacked with both experience and raw talent, let's now move to the left side, because honestly, the options Pep has over there might be just as scary, if not scarier. First up is Jeremy Doku. If there's one thing everyone knows about Doku, it's that he's one of the best dribblers in the Premier League right now. He's electric when he gets the ball out wide. His pace, his sharp turns, and his low center of gravity make him a nightmare for defenders. He doesn't hesitate. He takes his man on again and again until he breaks through. That kind of direct threat is rare, and it's exactly why Pep has trusted him so much. The only thing holding Doku back from being truly unstoppable is his finishing. We've seen him get into great positions, beat 2 or 3 players, but then delay his shot or overthink the final touch. He's got the ability to strike the ball well, but he needs to become more ruthless in front of goal. If Pep can refine that side of his game, Doku could easily become one of the most complete wingers in Europe. Even as he is right now, his dribbling alone changes games because it pulls defenses apart and creates space for others. And then there's Omar Marmoush, who gives City something different. If Doku is about pure dribbling and chaos, Marmoush is about efficiency and output. What I love about him is that he's a winger who always looks to deliver, either with a goal or an assist. You don't see him waste too many moments. Even though he only played half a season in the league last year, he managed 7 goals in 16 games. That's a very strong return for someone just adapting to the team. It shows he's not just about flashy dribbles, he's about end product. Marmoush also brings something else that makes him valuable: his movement. He has a great sense of timing when it comes to running into space. He's not just waiting for the ball to feet, he's constantly looking for those gaps behind defenders. And when he finds them, he makes it count. That's the kind of intelligence Pep values a lot. And on top of that, Marmoush can also play as a striker if needed. That flexibility means Guardiola can rotate him across positions depending on the game plan, and that makes him an even more dangerous asset. So on the left, Pep can go with Doku if he wants dribbling and chaos, or Marmoush if he wants direct output and clinical movement. Both bring something different, both keep defenses guessing, and both make City's attack even harder to plan against. And if that wasn't enough, remember, all of this is just what's happening out wide. At the very center of it all, City still has one of the deadliest strikers in football leading the line. At the heart of all this attacking power, you've got Erling Haaland. And really, what more can you say about him that hasn't already been said? Since arriving at City, he's been nothing short of a goal machine. In just 3 seasons, he's already scored 85 goals. That kind of output is unheard of. To put it in perspective, most strikers would be proud to hit 20 goals a season, but Haaland makes that look like a warm-up. He's rewriting the expectations for what a striker can deliver in the Premier League. What makes him so effective is that he's more than just a poacher. Yes, his finishing is ruthless. Left foot, right foot, headers, tap-ins, long range, he can do it all. But his game has also developed since he joined City. In his first season, a lot of people said he was just about being in the box and scoring goals. And while that was true, we've seen him grow into a more complete forward under Guardiola. His link-up play is sharper, his movement off the ball is smarter, and he's started to become more involved in the build-up. He still keeps his game simple, but that simplicity is deadly. 1 or 2 touches, and suddenly he's in the perfect position to finish. And let's not ignore the bigger picture. At this pace, the Alan Shearer Premier League goal record doesn't look impossible for him anymore. If Haaland keeps scoring like this, he could smash that record in less time than anyone thought. That's how consistent he is. And the scary part, he's only 25. Strikers usually peak later in their careers, which means Haaland is still improving. The rest of the league hasn't even seen his full potential yet. The reason he's such a nightmare for defenders is that it's difficult to prepare for him. If you sit deep, he'll find space and punish you in the box. If you push high, he'll use his speed to run in behind. And even if you manage to mark him tightly, City's midfield and wingers will keep creating chances until Haaland eventually gets one. And usually, that one chance is all he needs. So when you add Haaland's finishing, his presence, and his continued development to all the options City have on the wings and in midfield, it creates a complete attacking unit. This is why teams fear playing City, because even if you manage to stop the wingers, even if you keep the midfield quiet, you still have Haaland waiting to finish everything off. And that brings us to the bigger picture. We've looked at the left, the middle, the right, and now Haaland through the center. But when you put it all together, you start to realize just how terrifying this Manchester City attack really is. So when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it's hard not to be impressed. And honestly, a little worried if you're anyone but a City fan. On the left, Pep has Oscar Bobb's close control, Savinho's raw dribbling, and Foden's versatility. In the middle, he's got Bernardo Silva's reliability and Cherki's flair. On the right, Doku tears defenses apart with his dribbling, while Marmoush brings direct output and clinical movement. And then, at the very heart of it all, you've got Haaland, a striker who guarantees goals almost every time he steps onto the pitch. That's not just squad depth, that's variety. Guardiola doesn't just have good players, he has completely different types of attackers who can hurt teams in different ways. One week, he can go with creativity and control, the next he can go with raw pace and power, and sometimes he blends both. No matter the situation, City has a weapon to break it open, and we've already seen a glimpse of what that looks like. Their first game of the season wasn't just a win, it was a demolition. A 4-0 statement against Wolves with goals spread across the team. If this is how sharp City are in the opening week, imagine what they'll look like once the season gets going, and Pep fine-tunes the system even more. That's why this Manchester City attack is scary. It's not just about Haaland, it's not just about one winger or one playmaker. It's about the fact that every single attacking position has at least 2 high-level options, all capable of making a difference. And when Guardiola has that kind of firepower, history has shown us he doesn't waste it. He turns good squads into winning machines. But what do you think? Can Pep's attack dominate this season? Well, let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out our last video. Thank you.